All right, y'all. It's Tiana Adage. I have Troy Ford with me today. He's got his own YouTube channel called No One Cares, and that's spelled KNOWONECARES. So if you guys look him up, you'll be able to find the things or the videos that he's been doing as far as his, I guess you call it podcast, or his, bits and pieces of material that he's come across with his research and all that. Troy, how have you been?
Oh, I've been good.
Cool. I'm just gonna ask you just a couple of questions, and then I guess wherever the conversation goes is where it'll be. The first question is, where did No One Cares come from?
Oh yeah. Well, no one cares. I thought about it after going through tough situations as a man, going through tough situations and realizing that the things that I was taught
Mm.
growing up was wrong,
Okay.
and actually through the process of going through the struggles and the hard times, I realized that no one really cares. But I did know that one cared, and that was like the man upstairs. So that's why I say, one cares. That's the man upstairs. Because when you're going through tough times in life, really, if you don't make it happen, it's not going to happen. And even when people come and join you and help you, you have to take the first step. So that's how I came up with No One Cares. So it's basically motivation. You already know how people operate. And once you understand how people operate, and then coming from a man's perspective, if you're not valuable, so if nothing changes when you leave, then you're not valuable. As a man, your most valuable qualities is your ability to provide and protect. And if you can't do those things, then you're really no longer needed. And people don't really have to say it. You just look at people's actions. So I really don't listen to what people say too much. I watch what they do.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Um, it was just kind of like how I move about. I just got to see your actions, because people can say so much and it can always be empty words. And even if they do mean what they say, it has to have an action behind it for me to fully believe it or trust that person. But I want to go back to what you started with when you say no one cares. Are you saying that nobody at all cares, or to say, I mean, when I see it, how it's written, it's, and how you just explained it, is to know that, I'm gonna say God, because when you said the man upstairs, I'm assuming that's who you're referring to, but to know that he cares, even though your situations may show otherwise, that no one really puts forth the effort in showing interest in what, how you feel and stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about, or is it something different?
Yeah. I mean, because basically, one of the things we're taught, uh, male and female, growing up is, believe God, he'll do it, trust in God, he'll do it. But, we be waiting on him, but he's waiting on us. And I think us as a people, we overload on faith and we underload on work. And work without faith is useless. And what happens is, as a people, we gotta understand how things work. Everyone does a cost benefit ratio analysis with everything. Um, Everything in life is a transaction, whether it may not be a tangible transaction, but it may be a transaction of knowledge, of wisdom, of motivation. I mean, when people come to you and speak to you, Y'all, it's a transaction of something. And the lies that we've been taught keep us in a handicapped position, male and female. When I look at the church, I don't see a lot of younger women in there. I see a lot of older women. And that's because the younger women, they still have leverage. They're living life. They're getting a lot of the things they desire and want. They're getting attention from men and etc. because they still have the leverage. They have their youth and their beauty. Um, they have less baggage, and that's leverage for a woman. So I see a lot of older women in church, and their leverage is low. They really don't have the level of beauty. They have more baggage, and so now instead of them making adjustments, and instead of the pastor really focusing on teaching women how to make adjustments, they just really just take the money, take the offerings, and let them keep coming in and let them keep getting the same result, which is staying the same. So men and women, we have to have leverage, and if we're deficient in a certain area, we have to build offsets. So if you're a man and you are having problems providing and protecting, a woman's going to change. She's going to change on you. It may happen quicker than others, depending on how long you've been dealing with a female or whatever. So men have to have leverage and women have to have leverage. And it's not about having leverage over one another. You just have to understand what makes you valuable. So what makes you valuable? And if you're not valuable, then the reactions you get from people will change. And they always say, people, churches or people lie to women and tell them, hey, time doesn't run out for you, but time does. Time is something that's adversary to it benefits men and it hurts women. That's a reality. Uh, Men die quicker. We die earlier because we go through more stress in life physically. Uh, so we have to be realistic with what's real to get the outcome that we want to get. So,
Okay. So when you're talking about leverage with the church, is it just with the church or just in life period?
Well, when it comes to women, when it comes to women, the world benefits off of lying to women. Women spend 70 cents on the dollar, so the world wants to keep women single. Single women, they overspend on things that they should underspend on, and they underspend on things that they should probably overspend on. A man and a woman, they work together. A woman without a man, or without a man that messes with her for real, she's going to be making a lot of emotional decisions. That's not going to work out because the world runs on logic. It runs on logical things. So yes, the church really, it really benefits financially on selling women dreams. It puts them on a high on Sunday, on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and as the week goes on, the high goes down, then they come back on Sunday and get another high, and then it goes down and it goes down without really telling women what they need. And a lot of men are leaving the church nowadays. Men, we have to do what we're supposed to do. To get the outcomes that we want to get. We have to level up. The cost of living is going up. So we don't really have a certain target financially. Our target is constantly moving. And so we have to constantly be adjusting ourselves to the changes in mechanics, the changes in technology, the changes in demands to keep up so we can consistently provide and protect for the kids and for the women. So that's our job. And if we fail to do those things, then nothing's going to change. So women benefit off of connecting themselves to a man. Men have to perform and do what they need to do to be valuable. So the church really, it'll hit it a little bit, but it really doesn't tell women, hey, you got 18 years. You got 18 years to get you a man. Um, and that's what women need. They don't have to be married, they don't have to have a husband or whatever, but they need a guy that's competent, smart, and logical. Because without that, a woman's in danger. She's in danger. She's forced to go more into her masculine, and that puts her in a bad position.
Okay, I'm gonna go back if I can. I know you were saying something in the very beginning about uh, the lies or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to tie that into what I'm hearing you say, um, which has a lot to do with women and the church and what they need and how men can benefit in a way. So, what are those lies? And do you believe that that woman's upbringing has anything to do with those things that you feel the church needs to teach a woman?
Yeah. Well, with the first question, the lies that the church tells the women is that trusting in God alone is going to save you, or just coming in here every Sunday, paying your tithes, praying, worshiping, that alone is going to put you where you need to be as a woman. Now, because they say that, in church, I hear just trusting God, just trusting God. But God wants you to have a man. And a lot of women make mistakes by, you know, making the pastor the head of their household, even when they have a man. And no man that's hardworking, logical, strong-minded, smart, there's no man like that is going to allow another man to be a leader in his relationship or in his life. And lots of women, they are pastors, trump what their man says. And that's not good. If the man if the man isn't just abusing you or abusing alcohol, or because everyone has their dark side, but that man needs to know that you have his back no matter what. He needs to know that you trust in him. That man of your house, he has to be the leader. So the church really doesn't tell women to, find a man. The church makes most of its money off of single women. And the second question you said, does it come from how women were brought up? Absolutely. It's like a chain reaction. Most women today, they they coddle their sons, and then they're hard on their daughters. So today you have more assertive women that they're making decisions, they're more into their masculine side, and you have more men that are more into their weak side, into their beta side. And it goes against biology. Biologically, a woman really doesn't want that. But if she has no choice, she'll take that. She'll take a weak man, but she really doesn't want that. And over time, that situation doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. That's why we have so many divorces. 8 out of 10 divorces are filed by women because women don't want a weak man. But the the truth is, most men out here are weak. And yes, the upbringing of our women today causes most of the things we have going on. You have, like, most of the women today, they didn't have, a woman to teach them. Most of the women today didn't have fathers that were in the household to teach them what to look for in a man. So most women don't really know, what to look for, what qualities you need in a man. How can you find out if this man is a winner? How can you find out, is this a guy I should hang on to or not? They don't know. And since a lot of women didn't have their fathers, it's like a chain reaction from generations previous. A lack of fathers in the household. And it started from, I'd say, the feminist movement. It started from then, when women, they wanted to have equal rights. Now, having equal rights, you know, it's not good, because women they want the equal rights, but they don't want the equal amount of pressure. Women don't like the pressure, the everything on their back. Like, man, we can handle that. Man, we actually improve when we have more pressure on us. If a man doesn't go to weed and alcohol, if he stays focused, it'll improve his masculinity. Women, when they have a lot of pressure on them, it takes away from their femininity. So women want the benefits, but they can't handle the pressure. But women want equal rights. But most of the women that I run into, they ready to get off work. I mean, I see it every day. When I'm doing my evening job, they can't wait to get off work. Women like to have time off. They like to have potlucks. They like to have brunches, all type of parties at work. They want maternity leave, extra leave after that, days off. And it's just the opposite of how men are. Men, we really don't have to have vacations like that. We can grind and do the same thing over and over again, because we think more objectively. We look at what we have to get done, and we focus on that. So we can do the same job over and over, do the same motion over and over for 2-3 decades, and then not mess with us. But females, y'all don't operate like that. Y'all have to sit and talk. Y'all have to move around, and that's in y'all's biology. Talking, being social, um, doing things like that, because that's how y'all are able to teach the kids. Y'all have to be social, talk to other ladies, gossip a little bit, do things like that. So, y'all, we're not equal. We have different powers and abilities, and when we're taking out those elements, things don't work out right. So yes, the lack of a father figure in the household is causing this chaos. And let's be honest, this dating scene that we have today is chaotic. It's chaos.
We
Um,
can we can jump on that in just a second. I just want to go back to make sure I'm hearing everything that you pretty much said. So with the last thing that you just mentioned, I was doing one of my lessons that was in school when I was there a couple of months ago, had to do with the reading that we were doing as far as how women were working back in the 1800s or whatnot, and what they use as their outlet, which is pretty much along the lines of what you were just saying, as far as mingling with other females, just so that can be our outlet psychologically, so that we can regroup once we go back to the work scene. I know you were just mentioning about the whole equality thing for males and females. I mean, granted, a lot of the females work in places that not many males work in. And for example, as I go back to what I'm used to, is the whole school and education setting, where it seems to be a lot of females versus males, which shows that lack as well of the male figures. So when you have, to me, when you have a whole lot of females uh, channeling different energies throughout the day, and one may be in a bad mood, the other one may be happy-go-lucky, and they cross paths, it seems to be some type of energy there, whether it's negative or positive or whatever the case is. But it's in how we deal. So, for example, if you have one who's having a bad day, she may not want to speak, but the one who's having a happy-go-lucky day may want to speak to her, and that could either make or break that opportunity for either one of them to have a quick dialogue or a conversation and just say, hey, how you doing, what's going on, you okay, or whatever the case is. And it seems to be that wall still there in the work scene. So there's no telling if what they're dealing with is in that now present or that environment, or what was taking place at the home. So what I'm kind of trying to get at is, us as women, we kind of pull from all angles, family wise, work wise, self wise, and it's like it's on a constant. And I can say that guys may do the same thing, but respond to it in a different way. I know you all know or are familiar with the fact that we as females, like you keep mentioning with the whole biology thing, is that we can be more emotional and more expressive of how we feel. Like you could probably see our expression of whether we're happy, sad, mad, whatever, before we even say it. But with guys, it's kind of hard to pick and tell unless you say something. So with the words that come from a male, um, I, I'm trying to jump back, but still make sense of it all with what you were just saying as far as the household and how it reflects to a woman per se going to church and whatnot and leaning on the pastor's everlasting word versus the husband's role and the husband's words. And yes, I do agree that there should be having each other's back and a team effort going on. But if there's no conversation to be had in the household, then yes, the female may go a different direction and want to get that balance of what may be lacking in the household. So, which still goes into play with where the male figures were in her life before the husband came along. So it's almost like a where can I run to? Where can I go to get that positive energy? So with the female going to church, me as a younger person, when I was there, of course, I always say it in a lot of my podcasts, is that I grew up in a single mother home. And the only male figures that I had was my brothers on my mother's side. And for me to see the way that they operated and handle situations, that kind of in I don't want to say encouraged, but it kind of let me see how males operate. Even when it comes to dealing with their situations, if they didn't want to speak or they didn't want to talk about something, they didn't want to talk about something, but they let it be known when it came time to it that, hey, I didn't like this, I didn't like that, or however they needed to deal with it is what was on them. So I would just say that it has to do with what the energy is that the male is giving off, whether it be in the household, whether it be by relation. Um, and so if the closest male figure in that female's life is the pastor, then that's what she's going to cling to. Um, Not to say that this whole religion thing has been a straightforward shot and as clear as it needs to be. I know that you mentioned also as far as the whole lies and stuff, it has been some questions as far as what the teachings are in the church to what a woman is supposed to live by or believe. I know you mentioned too with the whole marriage thing and stuff, and expecting, well, not looking for the man and waiting for the man and all that stuff, because that's the type of stuff that we were taught. Wait for the guy to come along, and it's almost like a fairy tale type of thing that was, given to us. He's gonna,
Mhm.
you'll be married to the right one. If you, so basically, in my mind, if I can go back and kind of do it point by point, it's like stay a virgin, wait to be married, God will bless you with the right one. And after that, it's just whatever your life chooses to be with that person that you are matched up with. That's not always the case for everybody. It wasn't the case for me. Even though I followed, seemed like everything to a T as far as all that, I still came out or felt like I came out on the short end of the stick. And when you were talking about how how females raise their children, or either how we react to males or wanting to use that masculinity, at some points it's just feeling like no other option but to pull from the energy that came from the male figures in our lives. Not to say that, we disregarded the father of the child, but it's just we trying to see how we can pull from what helps to keep us going further. Because with my brothers, they show their love in a different type of way. And I know that you guys as males continue to show your love in different ways. Some of them we have to sift through, some of them we can see clearly, others we may have to question. And that goes into the whole validation part when it comes to the relationships, because I know that in order for things to seem balanced or be balanced in life, males and females do have to work together. And with the way that you're talking, it seems like you're talking from that angle, but yet it's still some like some things that are not really clear as far as how you guys as males perceive what we as females need, and how we can find some kind of common ground or median to just do things together. So my next question to you was, what's the meaning of validation? Like, do you feel like males and females both need validations from one another in order to do what they need to do in life, or you think more so is leaned on one gender than the other?
Well, the way oh, can you hear me pretty good?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the way that works is the the environment is determined by the man. How a woman acts towards the man is determined by the man. So a man has to be self-motivated. It starts with the man. I had to learn and course correct once I stopped getting the type of results that I wanted. And I'm still course correcting now. Becoming the man you want to be is a lifelong process, but you don't want to get stagnant. You want to always be getting better. It starts with the man. So, man, we can actually survive on our own without a woman. It wouldn't be, how we would like it to be, but we can live without a woman. A woman can't live without a man. When it comes straight up natural, she needs a man. She needs us to get out here, you know, kill the animals, bring it back to her. She doesn't want to do things like that. It's a lot of our bodies physically, mentally, we're set up for survival in a different manner than a woman is. A woman is really set up to protect her offspring. And so a man protects the woman and the offspring. A woman protects, the offspring. And if the man goes down, you know what I'm saying, then she'll do what she can to protect them, but she can really only protect the offspring. So It starts with the man, and a man has to be self-motivated, and a woman can't instill motivation in a man. She can only incentivize him. So if you meet a man and women assume a lot of things. They assume that when they meet a man, if he's got, if he's, if he's just an okay guy, not really motivated, not really ambitious, that hey, she can kind of change him by getting with him, maybe sex, maybe her being in his life. She can kind of put some fire up under him, but that's not the case. How a man is, his level of ambition, how she met him, that's how it's going to be. Most men, once we get a female, most men get comfortable. So a woman can only incentivize a man. So it starts with the man, and then he, stays motivated, stays moving, stays ambitious, and he might meet a nice woman, has a woman, and she incentivizes him by seeing his blind spots, by her being his helpmate. And I'm really trying to think about the question, but I don't know if that answers your question. But it starts with the man, and then the woman should latch herself on to a man that's moving. So that's how it works.
Okay.
What was your question?
It was about validation and
validation.
how they can seek approval from the other, but
Okay.
yet it seems like you're kind of bringing up a good point in a way, because no, you can go ahead.
Well, yeah, with that validation, yes, what the man think, that's what women need to think about. They need to understand that it's what the man think. Women lie to other women. Women's friends really keep them single. Women's friends really tell them what they want to hear. But how men are treating you, how men are responding to you, that's the truth. So women need that type of information from a man. Now, when it comes to validation and stuff like that, women of today, you can tell that they need it. When you look at the social media, it's like they can't get enough of it. It's like, and it's so bad to where nowadays it's hard for one man to give a woman enough validation. And when a woman is at that point, she's no longer really exclusive. And so, man, we really value exclusivity. It's certain things that a man values. And a lot of men don't know how to really say it. They don't know how to really explain it. It's certain things that women value. They really don't know how to explain it. Women aren't straight up individuals. They're more, they'll go around in circles and want you to get the answer. Man, we're really straight up individuals. So what women really want out of a man, it's hard for them to really tell you. They can't really tell you. They just expect you to already know what they want. And so when it comes to validation, uh, women have to have it. It's just nowadays one man can't give her enough, and so she's no longer exclusive, and so her leverage is going down. She's not as valuable to a man. Men, we value certain things. Now, when it comes to validation from a woman, do men need it? I mean, yeah, man. If you're not getting the response that you want from a woman, or from women in general, then you have to make adjustments. You have to understand what makes a woman respond. Naturally and biologically, women respond to masculine cues. And you can see that in relationships, in different movies. Women they respond to the most alpha masculine guy in the room. They respond in a different manner than they would with a, softer, weaker, more beta type guy. And yes, so the validation will, once a guy realizes he's not getting the response he needs from a female, if he wants that to change, then he's going to have to change. If a woman wants better responses and validation from the type of man that she wants and needs, she's going to have to change. Both sexes have to give a person what they want. The problem that we tend to have is we'll get validation from the opposite sexes, but it'll be from the tier of male or female that we're really not interested in. I mean, most women, they're getting fake validation from men who just want to have sex, who are not really interested in their mental or their mindset. And so it does them no good. They're getting likes, they're getting all type of comments, but the truth is likes and comments don't transform over to tangible things that a woman needs and that she can use, which is, financial, a man that's a leader. Likes and comments don't transfer over to that. You have to have a man that can transfer your beauty into finances and into resources. Because men, like I say, we're very resourceful. So, hey, if we can't get it done, we know people that can get it done. And so when it comes to women, a lot of times men will get validation from the type of women that, hey, probably don't have their best interests at hand, maybe just want to use them. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, yes, a man's finances is a big pillar. Finances is the way he looks, his mindset, his ability to protect. But you also want to attract a woman that's going to, pay tribute to you. Maybe every dollar you spend on her, she spent 25 cents on you. So yes, validation is important for both sexes, but most of the time we're getting validation from the type of people that we don't need or don't want validation from.
So when you hear that word, what does it mean to you? Because the way I see it and hear it may be just a tad bit different, and then I'll try to hit on what you were just saying as far as that. But what does validation mean to you?
Oh, well, when I look at the word validation, I look at it as it's an approval that you are someone that I want.
Okay. Um, I can agree with that. It's also just not, to me, it's just doesn't stop there as far as the approval of what it is, but the continuation of it. So if I'm doing something and it's not enough, should I do more? So if to me it's beyond a like. So okay, yeah, I want to be with you. That's kind of like a slight validation. So you have my approval of us getting together. Now what? Which is the actions of it all. So we just had an agreement that we're going to be together. So what continues that validation, which is in the actions? So I'll just try to go back to what you were saying. I will say though that if anyone ends up listening to this conversation, you may have some who will just make that quick point that not all women think alike, not all women act alike. So, and the same thing that I said in one of my other podcasts is not all men are the same. I've kind of had that mindset for the longest because I truly believe that not every male is going to treat you the same. If that's the case, God would have just made just one person, just one male and one female. but being that everyone has their own way of experiencing what they experience, they either learn from it or they remain stagnant, like what you were kind of mentioning before. And if they remain stagnant, then there's no growth. So there's no room for improvement. There's no room for any type of change. And it's just going to be what that person says and what that person does. And to me, it's hard to function with those kind of people. However, there are those that exist. So with some of the statements as far as the women, I do believe that not all of us act the same. And it goes back to the whole assumption thing. Um, I've learned over time to kind of get to the straightforward answer, not to be the one to kind of beat around the bush, because too many questions, as I was told, can drive a man crazy. However, I do believe in getting clarity, so I do ask questions. And so if I don't get the answer that I need, then I may wait a few moments or wait a day or whatever, and then I'll try it again. You know, they say if you first you don't succeed, then try again. That's kind of like my MO or my method to kind of getting answers. And then two is that you won't get all the answers that you need. So I've kind of learned too that if I don't get the answer that I need, I'll just take what I was given at that moment, whether it be the experience, whether it be the reaction or the response from that other individual. And so with what you were just saying, with the value part, people value each other differently as well. I personally don't really look for the masculine man in the room. I personally don't look for the one who may be boisterous or, trying to prove himself. Uh, to me, that comes with the lack of validation. Because if you're in the room and you're trying to get noticed, then you're gonna turn my head the other way. Because I don't want to add to the attention that you're trying to seek if that's something that you were lacking from whoever else you may need it from. Hence point, if it's your mom that you may need the uh, approval or the support from, get it from her first before you try to suck the motherness or the motherhood out of me. Um, because I know you mentioned in the very beginning too about mothers, how they can coddle their sons and whatnot. There, and I learned this not too long ago as far as different types of mama's boys. You have some who fully support their mother, those who don't look to their mother to be at their every beck and call and be their first handout, rather than the opposite. And then you have some who have held their mother's hand, latched on for a lifelong time, and now that they're in their adult age, it's kind of hard to let go. And to me, that kind of resembles those who try to be that, oh, I'm a tough guy type of thing. You don't have to do all that with every female. Women know what they want the same way men know what they want. But it's the struggle and the challenge is getting the type of person or the right person that you need to give you that balance, whether it be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that. And I know you mentioned just a second ago about finances and beauty. Kind of got confused on that part because I know that money doesn't define my beauty. So I don't think that's what you were intending to, give off. Um, because the beauty is an internal thing and it's what the person has to offer in their personality, their characteristics. It's not always the outside for me. So if you wanted to clarify that or whatever, or we can just jump on to the whole value part.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, like I said, yeah, the loudest man in the room would be the weakest. If a woman isn't taught what to look for in a man, then she's left up to her devices, which is the cell phone, or what she sees, going on in the relationships around her. So she has to learn what to look for in a man. When we lack knowledge, that's when we make wrong decisions. When we lack knowledge, that's when we get nervous. So a lack of knowledge can put you in a bad position. So a lot of times the right male, he's gonna be, he's gonna be just competent. He's gonna be cool. If anything, he's gonna add to whatever situation he's in. He's not gonna subtract. So when it comes to, how you were saying women are different. Women do things. No woman's the same. No man's the same. That's when you have to go deeper into what men as a whole respond to and like, and what women as a whole respond to and like. You got to go deeper. You got to go deeper. Deep inside, women want a man that's confident, a man that can make tough decisions, a man that can bounce back from tough times. She don't want weakness, because women biologically know if they connect themselves with a man that's weak, that their life is in danger. And if their life is in danger, their offspring is in danger. So you got to go to what makes the other person respond. That's what will give you results. Getting results is hard work. It takes time. So for a woman, for her to get the type of results that she needs from a man, she has to find out what motivates him and what incentivizes a man, and what a man that she needs values. A masculine man, a man that's competent and cool, he's going to value a woman that, adjusts to him. But he has to have something for her to adjust to. That's why it starts with a man. He has to have something for her to somewhat submit to, somewhat to adjust to, some for her to work with. And then from there, she does things to help him out with his goals, grind, or whatever, and then he helps her out. But he has to make that happen. Biologically, naturally, human-wise, we're going to respond when something that the other sex does that we like. We're going to respond in a certain way. It's like, if a woman sees a man that she's attracted to, she's going to look. I mean, she's not going to, it's a natural response. If a man sees a woman that he's attracted to, he's going to look. So those are the things that you got to work with. Those are the things that you have to utilize. Those things take hard work. For a man, it takes hard work. If you're trying to balance your jobs and a side hustle and your body, that's hard work. But a woman is going to be able to work with that. A woman keeping herself attractive, keeping her femininity available, keeping her, her naturalness. Those things take work. She has to maintain those things. So a man's going to respond to that. Initially, man, we have to work for everything we have. Women are really born and with beauty. So, like I say, men, we have to put in work early. That's just how it works. Women, a lot of times, women don't even work out, and they're beautiful. When it comes to what you were saying about, beauty, and beauty and money. When it comes to money and finances and stuff like that, man, we don't necessarily care whether how much money a woman makes. She doesn't need to be a bad luck broad, like broke, always have something going on, because it's not going to work. She's not going to be able to, do anything for me. But as a man, yes, our finances is important. We have to be able to provide. For a woman, you were saying like beauty isn't just on the outside, it's on the inside. Well, on the outside is very important. If you're just beautiful on the inside and you're not beautiful on the outside, you're going to get certain results. You're going to attract certain men. That's a natural response. So even if you're not the most beautiful woman, you don't need to be comparing yourself to other women. I think being a beautiful woman is being the best version of yourself, being as beautiful as you can be. But we got to keep it real. You have a time frame that when that beauty runs out. That's why you see Lil Kim, you see ladies all over television or whatever. They get you see even women off of television. They getting plastic surgery. They're getting all type of adjustments done to their body because the responses that they used to get when they were younger, they're not getting anymore. They're not getting the people not opening the doors for them. They're not smiling at them a lot. And they understand that as they get older, their value goes down. I mean, naturally, as a woman likes when a man smiles at her because she knows in the back of her mind that, hey, I have a chance to get some tangibles from him. I mean, even if I don't need it or want it, hey, I can get some resources from that guy. He's smiling at me. And when men stop smiling at women, or when men stop smiling at a woman, it bothers her. And that's why you have so many women getting these plastic surgeries. So beauty, it does transfer over into tangible money, valuable things, but a man has to do that. Yes, beauty inside is very important. If you not beautiful on the outside, then you have to develop offsets. You better be very nice and sweet, and you don't need to be too heavy. You don't want to be unattractive. It's not going to give you the best results. And I think men and women, we want the best results because the best results give you the best life you can get. So as a woman, when you were saying, yeah, I think beauty is internal and all that, that's sweet and stuff. That's how a lot of women think. Y'all are more emotional and stuff like that. Man, people keep it real with us. They'll let us know, hey, man, you can't do the job. We're going to have to let you go. We can, people are real with us. They're straight up with us. So we're more logical. You know what I mean? So we know, hey, we not attractive. We're not attractive. That's important. So we develop offsets. So that's why most of your men with the dad bods, hell, they're productive. They're resourceful. And like I say, everything a man and a woman wants, it overlaps. So you're not really going to get everything you want in one person. A lot of times, men, we say we want a woman in the streets and a freak in the bed, but those are contradictive. Women, they want the guy with the six pack, but then they want the guy that's productive, but then they want the guy that's emotionally available. You know what I'm saying? He's very, cool and soft, which I don't think nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being emotionally available and being, real cool and calm and more soft like. But those three things don't go along. If you're a man and you hitting the weights and then you're productive, well, your mindset is going to be, there's no way you're going to be a super soft guy. Because when it comes to productivity and getting results, you understand that, hey, you're either going to get it done or you're not. And you understand that when you don't get it done, you get tossed to the side. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get 2 out of the 3. It's real hard for a man to have a six pack, but then be real productive. I'm talking about, working a lot of hours. It's hard for a man to hit everything like that. So you gotta be willing to let something go. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be willing to let one of the characteristics go. So so that's how that works. You gotta understand what characteristics a woman likes in a man and what characteristics a man likes in a woman. Man, we like freaks. You know what I'm saying? We like a woman that's a freak, but then again, we don't want her to be a freak. So it's kind of like, we'll be, you mess with a freak, but then you don't want a freak. Then you want a straight up woman, but then you don't want her. But then you want a woman that, you know what I'm saying? She's assertive, but she's sweet. But then you don't want her because she's making too many, she's acting like she's calling the shots. So you kind of like, you know what I'm saying? You want this perfect balance and you got to give up something. You know what I'm saying? So,
With 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 all that you're saying is, I think it comes down to who we expose ourselves to, because as I still stand on what I was saying, not all are the same. Not all women look for the six packs. I will say we do look for the productivity. We look for the support. It's just who we've dealt with over time. We've come across some of the wrong people, which is unfortunate because it's something that we probably didn't prepare for, something that we didn't expect. And the fact that we did interact with them hopefully taught us something to where it's like, okay, that's what I'm not going to either look for or desire from that person. Because in the beginning, a lot of people can look for what goes on the outside. Once they get with that person, based on what was shown on the outside, they started to see all that's on the inside. So to me, that's why I was referring to beauty being on the inside. And and people can treat you nice just for a split second and then show their true colors within the next day or week or so. And you don't want anyone who's flip-flop, and you don't want someone who's got this one-track mindset that everybody's going to end up treating you the same, or else you're going to wind up possibly by yourself. Now, I will say, when you were talking earlier about women, something about after 19 or something you said, what if that woman has been not necessarily set in her ways, but what if that right guy never comes along, but she still managed to get a lot of things done, hold up her own, have ends meet on her own, and still work out fine. Even with the whole smiling thing and getting an interaction from males, she can either work with them, she can interact with them in public, or just, just bypassing, not assuming that, okay, he's going to pay my bills, he's going to do this, this is that. She's like on a focus mindset. So in a way, it's a question, but not a question to say, or just hint out that there are a lot of males and females who have come to the realization or the point in their lives where that right person or soulmate, helpmate, whoever they wanted or intended to come in their lives may have come and gone, may have been in passing, but they still didn't miss a beat in the way that they operate, and how they make their money and how they get things done, how they view their success and how they value themselves. Because like you said, even in the beginning too, is that it starts with self-motivation. It starts with the person loving themselves first, which is totally agreeable. Because if you can't love yourself first, we already know it's kind of hard for you to love anybody else. And so that's been a blur for people to show how they love one another, which is kind of what I was saying earlier. People have different ways of showing how they love, how they accept, how they approve, how they validate, how they whatever another person. And so if there has been a lack in what should have been poured into them, they have nothing to give. And it seems like, and not to kind of put it all on you, but based on the females you may have interacted with, they may not have had all that you wanted them to have. And it has caused you to basically just say, you know what, this is how women are. And there's no altering of that, because a person is going to believe what they believe. However, it's just when you get to know a person, that's what breaks the mold. That's what cracks the shell open. That's what allows all these layers to be unveiled and all that. And like I said, you is what's revealed from inside to a person after a while. Yes, they can look the most handsomest, beautifulest person in the world, but how they treat you, how they respond, how they move in life says it all. And I was going to ask about the whole vulnerability thing, but based on what this conversation has been, it's almost like you can't get to explaining that unless we find out what it is that men and women genuinely want and need, and how we can expose ourselves to the right person, how we can trust the right person. Because once that bad apple has spoiled that bunch, it takes some time for a lot of people. Some heal faster than others. Some get that revelation quicker than others. But all in all, Troy, it's been a matter of people have had their own opinions of what relationships look like, what they're supposed to be, whether anybody is supposed to be truly married to anybody or everybody's supposed to be truly married. Some people still believe that, okay, singleness is the way for me. Some people believe that, okay, one day I'm gonna get that right person. But even with the work and the effort that's put into it, and when it's all said and done, it's like, was it in vain? Was it worth it? Did I overdo too much? Did I overthink? Did I overbelieve? Did I overachieve? Like you said earlier, overwork myself in trying to get what I wanted versus what I needed?
We have choices. Now, if you choose to give up and throw in the towel, which is what a lot of women do today, instead of really making the adjustments that they should make to attract and keep a man, they tend to get pets, or they tend to make their son husbands, or they tend to raise daughters that are more assertive, and they want to keep their daughters around so that their daughters can take care of them because they're unable to attract and keep a man. You know what I'm saying? That's not how women want to live. So they use coping mechanisms. Their kids, pets, girls, trips, stuff like that. The happiest women today and the happiest women when they get older, they have a partner or they have had a partner. The number one cause of a woman's being in poverty is divorce. Is not is divorce. That's the number one cause of poverty in women is divorce. Is a man is not having a man in their life no more. You look at, but the number one reason that women level up in life is marriage. When you look at Jeff Bezos' wife, you look at a lot of these wives that are super rich, they got rich because of the man that they were connected to. When you look at you look at Jada and stuff like that, her value is in her last name of Smith. Yes, she made some movies, but she was irrelevant for a long time until she connected to Will Smith. So the value of a woman, the most important decision a woman can make is the value and the type of man that she connects herself to. The most important decision that a man makes is the type of woman that he has in his life and overall his purpose and his drive. Those are the most important decisions that a man makes. So, you know, yes, you're going to have some women that are able to retire and stuff like that, but they're not, most of them are not going to live the life that a woman naturally wants to live. Now, a woman has a choice.
Same as men.
She can develop offsets. Y'all can develop offsets, man. If y'all are not, attracting the type of man you want, find out, hey, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? The most powerful thing that a woman has is to get a man emotionally attached. Get a man emotionally attached. That's valuable. When you get a man emotionally attached, he'll never just leave you hanging. He'll never just leave you alone. You gotta get him emotionally attached. Hell, if she don't know how to cook, just learn how to cook. Cleaning, wearing that apron. She's able to survive in that life way longer than a job. So when a woman, gets a man attached, gets him emotionally attached, makes him, want to share his resources and provide and protect for her, hell, she can be 75 years old and still be working, but she won't have to be working like that. She'll have a man that employs her. She'll have a man that provides and protects for her. That's what the man will do. I'm trying to think exactly what I was going to say, but, women have longer, more fulfilling lives. They're able to retire when they attach themselves to a man. Period.
I put a comma actually because I'm just trying to think of the women that I've come across already and how they've managed to, still be productive with what they do. And it's no right or wrong here in a way because, like I said, what you've researched is what you've researched, and that's where you've gotten your points from. But with what I've seen and who I've dealt with, that's pretty much where my research comes from in people. I just try not to keep up with those who are not around me because this is our reality. What everybody else is doing is what they're doing on the other side of the country or whatnot. And so if we just deal with the in-home stuff, hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense because in reference to where our experiences cis may have brushed up against one another, is what I was just saying a little bit ago, is the people that we've encountered, and may not have been the best experience, may not have been the people that we wanted to, be introduced to or be exposed to for a longer period of time than we anticipated. It's just the fact that that's what it was. And even though we may still have our thoughts that may circulate on those experiences, it can kind of overlap or overflow into how we deal with things now.
Basically, what you're telling me is that what you've experienced is women being okay with living their life and retiring without a man, living their life without a man in their life. Is that what you're telling me?
So it's a yes and no to that question, because I can't personally say that they're okay with it. I would just say that if another woman was to view their lifestyle and to say, dang, she was able to, be successful this entire time, be able to hold her own, like I was just saying,
You
and still
consider
be
that success?
content. Huh?
You consider that success?
Yeah, success looks different to everyone. And so if her ability to, and I think this is where you're probably saying living as a man, where she's been able to pay her own bills, where she's been able to provide and take care of her own, then I think that's where I kind of understand now, where you're saying live her life as a man. However, as I said already, she's 100% a female, and what her content is totally different from someone else's being content. Because to me, in my age and my generation, we would still want to possibly be in a relationship and marry someone who we can have that balance and that teamwork with and all that great stuff. Basically, it's just a matter of these people, where they found their happiness. I know you were saying something about being happy with a male or whatever. But if what she's doing talent wise or whatever else brings her that joy, then that's where her contentment is also. And I think with where she is can be a motivation to someone who sees themselves going down that kind of road. Like I said, that is a road. If she's taken it, and that's a journey that has gotten her from point A to point B. If she managed to graduate from college, high school, work the same job for several years, not having to switch jobs, not having to fill out several thousand applications and still pay off her car and all those notes, to me, that's a road of success, like accomplishments.
Why? How is that a road of success when a man could do that for you?
Apparently she didn't need it. That's why she's gotten where she is. And not to say that she didn't ever want it. I can't, like I said, I can't speak for her, but I will say that just in knowing her over the years, it's just like, okay, that can be an inspiration to some people, because it's like if they see themselves in that same element or level, then maybe she can have some words of wisdom, whatever you want to say to that person. So
what type of road, Tiana? Don't no woman want to go. A woman does not want to go down that road.
Again, like you said, it's a choice. If they choose to go down that road, they'll go down that road. But
if you're unable, the problem is if you are unable to attract and keep, then you have no choice. That's a road to where you don't have a choice but to make yourself happy. See, people can tell you, yes, I'm happy, I'm retired, everything's good, I didn't need, this or that. That's not that we don't know how happy they are. Women today aren't bragging and happy about not having nobody. That's not what makes a woman happy. Most women don't even, they don't like being alone like that. Like, when it gets dark, or, when the storm's coming, when the wind's blowing, they want to get up under their man. That's a
However,
natural. Wait a
however,
minute.
their choices may have been slim, which
Wait a
is why
minute. Wait
she
a
was
minute.
able to be content.
But you don't like. I'm just saying.
Hmm.
We know you have to talk about her, but that's not what you really want. You don't want to be out here without somebody to protect you and care for you. So if she wants to, if she wants to tell other women to go down that same road, that's a road. That's not a road that women want to go on. The women,
No, I didn't
when
say tell them to go down that road. I said if a woman happens to go down that same road, perhaps there's something that she can tell her along the way. And like
don't
you said,
follow
it's a
me,
generational thing.
tell her don't follow me, honey. Find you a man.
Okay, but if that man is not available to be found, because there are some guys who just don't get it and it don't click until later
Wait a
on.
minute. Who's the common denominator?
The who
If a
now?
woman, if a woman, if a woman is never able to attract and keep a man, what's the common denominator? Why does she keep meeting men, and men not hanging around? Men, we're pretty simple. We like we want a woman that shows appreciation. We want a woman that we like food, and we like sex. We are very simple. Now, appreciation comes along with what's included in that is a woman that, says, I appreciate you, shows that she's thankful for having you, and she strokes your ego, and in return, a man provides and protects for her. You know what I'm saying? Does things for her. What's the common denominator if you're a woman and you're unable to attract and keep a man?
Not all guys have those qualities. And at some point, you deal with those who can be manipulative and play that role
Oh,
as if they do such. Because if you say you're the provider, if you ask a woman to marry you or whatever, whatever, please believe she's expecting you to hold those standards
okay,
that
so that's
you
why.
are trying to offer. However, if he fails to do so, then that's the stumbling block or the
Why
it
you
is
keep
that
messing?
she
Why do
runs
they keep
into.
messing with him? If he's not following his words with actions, then it's a woman's job to say, "Hey, you said this and you're not doing this." And if he doesn't do it, she has to let him go.
But if
We're a
a
person.
woman was to say that, again, is dealing with the type of person. Because if she gets a kickback and get a why you ask me these, this, that, and the third, then there comes that part where, okay, now you got to deal with that.
No, you
So
don't.
it's
No, you
like,
don't. No, you don't.
I know you don't, but yet there is a, okay, either something's gonna come to a dead end with the conversation, if there is a conversation, because it shouldn't get to a confrontation. Because if I'm asking for clarity, but yet you give me another type of response as if I'm coming against you, then now we have a problem. So therefore, you it's almost like you keep asking, what's the woman supposed to do? What's the woman supposed to do? Again, I'm a firm believer that it has to be two-sided. Males have to hold up, women have to hold up. And if they're not coming together, then it's just a bunch of confusion and a
So
bunch of back and forth. So
absolutely. And women get frustrated.
mhm.
They get frustrated because they're not able to find a man that that stick around. They're unable to find a man that follows his words with actions. As a woman gets older, it gets harder for her to find that dude. That's because y'all have most women who are single and over 30 and stuff like that. Y'all been taking care of everything on y'all own. Y'all been making all your own money and doing everything on your own. And what happens is when y'all have taken care of everything on your own, how can a man get any incentive to do anything for you if you're doing everything on your own? Man, we want to see where we fit in too. And men want to win, women want to win. Winning can be, subjective to a person. The bottom line is women naturally want a man. They want a man that, not any man, they want a man that's productive, a good provider, protector, a good man to support them. Man, we want a woman that's feminine, that's the best version of herself. That's what we want. And we have to do what we have to do if we want that in our life. And if a woman doesn't give a man what he wants, then he's not going to stick around. Man, when we see a woman that we want, when she has the qualities that we want, we go that direction. When she doesn't, we go the other direction.
Yeah,
That's how it works. That's how that works.
It can be deceiving at times, because I agree in ways of what you're saying, because if the woman, you said too that the woman can find the man, but if the qualities are not clear enough, then it's going to have to be some deeper searching in that person to see, okay, does he have what I need? Is he going to stay in there for the long haul? Or are we just here just for 2 weeks or whatever, and then going on to something different? So with what you're saying too, is still both holding up their ends of the bargain, and not the bargain, but both holding up their ends of where they want to be in a relationship.
As a woman, you have to know that there's other women out here. Mm-hmm. A woman has to get a man emotionally attached and stay competitive. That means, hey, find out what he likes, keep doing what you're doing. A man has to stay competitive. That's the bottom line. That's what makes relationships fall off, is people get comfortable and they don't keep bringing to the table the things that they need to bring. You got to stay competitive. Women, they like to get married and get that long-term contract, wedding ring, when really they should just worry about the short-term contracts. You don't see LeBron, he don't sign long-term contracts, he signs short-term contracts. That way, hey, if a man doesn't do what he needs to do, you can let his ass go. Right? If a woman's not doing what she needs to do, he gonna let her ass go. The thing about it is, in today's world, women don't have a lot of confidence in their ability to stay competitive. That's why a lot of women look for marriage. They look for that long-term paperwork instead of really being straight up down with a dude, letting the dude know that, hey, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to stay by your side. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And like I say, when you are straight up with a man, we're not gonna let you go. Most relationships are broken.
I'm sorry.
Most tough experiences, there's a reason. It might not all be your fault. It may be his fault, but there's a reason. You have to find out what that reason is.
It was a tolerance. I'm sorry.
Every single divorce isn't filed by the woman. Every single relationship isn't breaking off by the woman, but most of them are. But you got to find a man, right? You got to find a man, and you got to get him emotionally attached. You got to get him emotionally attached. If he's emotionally attached to you, he's not going to leave you hanging. Kids don't necessarily get a man emotionally attached. Marriage doesn't necessarily do that. It's certain things that do that. But I want to talk to you about that. We don't have to do it on the video. I know you got to rap about it, but I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about that.
Not everybody is the same, because what you're saying is what has been done for a lot of females. However, that's short end of the stick. But yeah, like you said, we don't have to talk about it today because this one has kind of rolled over, and it may be two parts to this. Just overall with what we have presented today is basically been about validation and vulnerability in a sense. Well, actually more so value and validation and how it affects both males and females. This is Troy Ford with No One Cares, KNOWONECARES. He has a YouTube channel. You guys can check him out, see what he's been talking about, see what he's been up to. I believe, yeah, he's also on Facebook as well if you want to follow him there. Just thank you for taking out the time to have this conversation. I don't know if we've gotten anywhere or either this was just a open dialogue, because I honestly, for the first time, I think, did not really have any set questions. Just letting this be just a open floor for some type of conversation. So hopefully somebody got something from it. If you didn't, hopefully the next time around on the next podcast or whatever, maybe something hits you and strikes a nerve and helps you in some kind of way. All right. Again, thank you, Troy, for participating on this interview. And you have a good one.
All right.
All righty then.